Zero Foresight. The execs who passed on the Kpop Demon Hunters smash hit. Look, let's get one thing straight. The entertainment industry is a crapshoot run by a majority of executives with precisely zero foresight, intuition, and awareness. And nowhere is that more evident than the fact that we almost didn't get Kpop Demon Hunters, the surprise streaming smash hit that just parked its gutsy boots on the neck of every other show this quarter. Do you think you know what's going to hit? You don't. The execs who passed on this show certainly didn't. Wahaha! If you haven't tuned in yet, Kpop Demon Hunters sounds exactly like the kind of pitch that makes middle-aged VPs in suits politely say, "We just don't see the demographic fit." It's about a defunct, one-hit wonder K-pop girl group that, twist, spends their off hours banishing ancient Korean folklore demons. It's wild, it's chaotic, and it is glorious. So why did this glorious mess click with audiences when so many other polished, focus group shows are DOA? I mean, this is not a case of a Rachel Zegler-led live-action adaptation of Snow White. Wahahaha! It's simple, it has style, and it doesn't apologize for it. We're suffering from an epidemic of prestige gray TV shows that look muted, feel serious, and bore you to death. Kpop Demon Hunters blasts the saturation slider to 11. The fight scenes are less John Wick and more a perfectly choreographed dance sequence involving glowing swords and synchronized high kicks. It's pure, unadulterated fun. The show understands its assignment is to entertain, not to win a Peabody Award for Best Depiction of Existential Dread. It understands its purpose, it doesn't overdo it, nor does it force it down the faces of people. It is what it is. It's also surprisingly sharp. The humor lands more often than not. It pokes fun at the cutthroat nature of the K-pop industry, the extreme dieting, the relentless training, the manufactured personas, while still treating the actual K-pop as a legitimate superpower. You can be a fierce, strong woman who also meticulously applies her stage makeup before impaling a goblin. That dualism is everything. The story goes that this show was pitched everywhere. The major players reportedly passed because it was too niche, too genre-specific, or the classic, "We already have an international property in development." Niche? K-pop is a global phenomenon that sells out stadiums in minutes and dominates social media trends. Genre-specific? People are literally watching dragon shows, and superhero fatigue is a myth if the story is good. These executives completely missed the wave because they were looking at spreadsheets from 2018. They underestimated the massive, global audience hungry for content that doesn't just rehash the same old archetypes. They saw K-pop and thought fad instead of passionate built-in fanbase. Are you kidding me? Do they even know what is going on in popular culture? K-pop has been around for decades at this point when it comes to their global presence, popularity, and relevance. It is by no means a fad or a trend. Whether you are into K-pop or not is beside the point. Just because you do not dig it does not mean others wouldn't because of it. The blunder, miscalculation, and shortcoming were so obvious, plain as day, and clear as to what led to it for them passing on Kpop Demon Hunters. They were not thinking out of the box. They only thought of what they wanted and presumed that everyone else would feel the same way about it. They were self-centered people. They do not understand that their personal opinion does not matter when there is a global audience that demands this kind of content. Now, as Kpop Demon Hunters sit comfortably atop the streaming charts, they are probably frantically greenlighting their own knockoffs involving Japanese rock bands fighting vampires, or something equally desperate. See what happens when they miss out on a tremendous opportunity and see that global success happening for others. They decided to go the imitation route, the rip-off approach and strategy. If they can't get what they lost, then they will settle for lesser copies of it. If you ask me, it is shameful on their part. It's a lesson in taking risks, folks. In fact, when you think of the big picture, there is no risk here if the qualified people are in charge of operations. Because if you know your market, if you know what your audience or target audience wants, and you are in tune with what the global trends are, then the risks are non-existent. In fact, everything there is for the taking. Heck, on a personal note, that is how I have approached my entertainment column ever since my real-life personality has come out in the last few years of doing this for the #1 news and entertainment-based website in the country. The others suck. The majority of them don't feel like columnists and writers at all. More like mindless, emotionless, and lifeless robots. Ha 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 ha. I write what I want. I write what people want. And what I believe more readers should know. Who wins in the end? The people, the audience, and readers, most of all. If the major players had that kind of mentality, thought process, and care, then any of them could have landed Kpop Demon Hunters.